dawn, going to head out and get some herbal tea for my morning tea. It's going to be some evergreen needles. Particularly, we're going to be harvesting some western hemlock, some western white pine, and also likely get some western red cedar. All those components are going to help with vitamin C deficiencies, respiratory issues, simple things like this. It's a great precautionary tea to take, just so you don't get sick. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. See you out there. Cheers. Oh, morning, chickens. Looks like somebody fed you already this morning. Looks like the sun's out. Well, I'm on my way to get the needles for my herbal tea this morning. Oh, he's letting everybody know it's morning. Go. Sorry, chicken. Yeah, definitely a nice sunny day out today. Beautiful. I planted a couple baby hemlocks. I don't know what that lighting looks like, but planted some of these last year. Pretty bright out this morning. But they should be well on their way in a few years. They're good to put under the understory of the trees. You can see I got quite a few trees growing around the farm here. Lots of them are quite older now. Not very many young ones. Before we knew much better, we were mowing everything down with the lawnmower. Basically taking out any young trees that we're trying to grow. So I've gone ahead and went and planted a few trees to accommodate the loss of the ones we've mowed down over the years. But here we go. Nice brisk walk this morning. Probably about -3 Celsius. So fern, it's enjoying that sunshine this morning, warming up. That's probably why it's growing there. It likes it. You can see how these hemlocks grow under the understory. Pretty much. Not very good lighting this morning. But you can see there's quite a few of them here. Sounds like the crows are overeating the horse feed this morning. Well, anyway, I'm going to go get my material and get ready to head out to my famous spot to harvest these things. There's this little tiny spruce, another spruce beside it. There's a hemlock there, that green one with the sun on it. Anyway, go see what we can find over at the old famous spot here. I need to go get some extra clothes on. I didn't realize it was so chilly this morning. It's definitely cooler than it looks. So I better go put on the old long johns and maybe an extra sweater. Yeah, it's frosty. The fields are full of frost this morning. Alright guys, I'm gonna head in the house here and get some extra clothes on. Well, we made it over to the hemlock here. You can see it. It's this green, feathery looking. It almost looks a lot like a yew wood, if you know what a yew wood is. But a yew wood has flat needles on the stem, where these kind of, you can see they go circular around the stem, where they would be flat on a yew wood, Pacific yew wood. Excuse me. This is a western hemlock. I'm going to use some of this for putting in a tea later today. It's got a little bit of vitamin C in it. It's good for helping with coughs and colds. And so yeah, that's what the needles or the leaves look like. Some people call them needles. Some people call them leaves. This is the bark of a western hemlock. You can see its texture it has. Quite distinct from like a Douglas fir or a yew wood. If you ever seen a yew wood bark, it's quite distinct as well. And here I'll show you what a spruce, since we have a spruce tree right here, this is what a spruce, it's a little smoother. That's a spruce. There, you can see the needles on it. They're more needle-like, not feathery like on a western hemlock. And here's some cedar, western red cedar. Its needles are also feathery-like, but they're up close. They look like scales on them. Quite distinct from either the spruce or the western hemlock. It could be a Sitka spruce that we just showed. But yeah, I'm going to harvest some of these needles here. Excuse me. I've got a bit of a cold cough coming on, so I think these needles will do me just fine. Maybe we can add a bit of cedar needles, spruce needles. I'll add that to the mix, make a wonderful tea. There's a paper birch in behind there. It's a younger one. It's also got some good medicinal properties to it if you can get in the inner bark. Make a tea with it. But anyway, I'm off now to go get my hay. In the blizzard of snow, we're finally getting a bit of snow out here. So it's looking pretty nice. Always nice to look at. Not so nice to deal with sometimes. But here I'll show you some spruce. You can see we have spruce here, and in the background right there is some western hemlock. You can see the difference. And then you can use those spruce tips. You want to get the very tips of them. They're not the best right now, but when you compare them to springtime, but they are equally nutritious for the most part nowadays. So you can also use them, so put them in with the tea, definitely help. So, and then we have some cedar right there. You can see the cedar, it's kind of yellowish compared to that darker green hemlock here. And then we have there the spruce. Yeah. I'll show you what the bark looks like on a western cedar tree. most of you probably already know, but here's the bark on a western cedar. It strips off in long vertical strips. It's great for making baskets, and you can even add it to twine, rope. Here's a young little western hemlock. You can see how they got a droopy tip on them. It's a famous distinction on a western hemlock is their droopy tops. I don't know if we can get this top here, but I'll zoom in on it. It's kind of droopy. Yeah, not very good, sorry. But I'll try anyway. Not a very good camera. I gotta invest in a better camera. So here's a bunch more hemlock. You can see how it grows. I'll back up a bit so you can see. Its branches really catch the snow and it becomes really droopy. So here's another good distinction of one here. Basically all these, they're basically right to the ground. And underneath, I'll show you, great habitat for like rabbits and birds. You can see there's no snow here. So they can crawl under here in places and get shelter from the nasty weather. So here we go again. We have side by side, we have a western hemlock needles. And then here we have a western red cedar needles side by side. So a good representation of the difference between those two. But here we'll show you how you can see the branches here, how they all just catch the snow and then create like a little habitat for all sorts. You can see they get right down to the ground. I mean, enough snow, they create a, you can see the droopy top on that one there. They create, we'll go over here, and they create a great dry habitat for little critters, particularly like birds and rabbits. And you can see all the little pine cones under here that they could eat on once they're under here. So yeah, very little snow when compared to out in the open. So they're not only good for tea, they're great for creating natural habitat for birds and rabbits and little critters, squirrels and things. Here's a western red cedar. They kind of go golden brown, and then this time of year, and then you can see the the dead brown needles. They're about to fall off once the wind picks up, and they'll fall to the ground and create some mulch. But those brown ones, you can see they completely dead now. And if you go up to them, you likely can just basically pull them right off. They're about to fall on the ground. But you can typically in the spring, excuse me, the needles are a lot greener, very similar to the western hemlock once they get to produce new growth on them. So here's a bunch of western hemlock catching snow. They're really good at catching snow with their branches. One of my favorite trees actually is a western hemlock. They create beautiful. You can see here's how dry it is under this big western hemlock. It's a larger one. It goes way up there. But it's produced
A nice dry bedding area, probably for deer even. Some larger animals here. In fact, I think I might just stand under here for a bit once how the snow. But you can see all the baby western hemlocks that have started up in here. And I'll show you the bark on a younger western hemlock. That's what it looks like there. So it's not cracking nearly and breaking off nearly as much as the other one. Sounds like they got a helicopter out. Probably the heli skiers. I think went out enjoying all that fresh powder up on the mountain. Let's see if we can get a picture of him. He's headed out. Let's see if he goes. He'll be going out to probably take people heli skiing. There's so much snow and you can't even see him. He's in there somewhere. He's already passed by now. There he goes. And people are about to have fun there now. Here we'll show you some of the pine cones that are on the western hemlock. Just little mini cones on these. You can see how they look. Look very similar to a bigger pine cone, but these ones are quite small. And pretty quite a bit. You can see them all dangling on there. You have all sorts of squirrels usually get on them. Use them for a food source. Got little seeds in them. But, you know, we'll continue on over here to the waterway. Over where the hay is. Sorry, I keep kind of coughing in my throat. I think I got a frog in my throat or something. I need some of that herbal tea. Definitely going to be picking some of those needles on the way back. Making a tea when I get home. Get Caleb a tea. He probably, I don't think he's got a sore throat yet or anything. But better get him a tea just in case. Precautionary measure, just to make sure he doesn't end up with a sore throat or anything. No, but Caleb's got cerebral palsy. Last thing you want is any type of children or adults to get any kind of sickness, really. They're already fighting lots of complications typically. So whatever you can do to prevent anything from happening, definitely a good idea for those guys. Caleb loves herbal teas. We just made a nice one yesterday. I think it was mint and heel all mixture. It was pretty tasty. And you can see the waterway is completely frozen over now. Snowed over. I just learned the other day those otters are part of the weasel family. I'll show you this other part. Some beautiful white birches, paper birch. There's a beautiful bark on those. Magnificent trees. You can see the color difference on them. Some are whiter than the others, and some even have like pinkish hues, reddish hues to them. I'll show you one. So you can zoom in over there. It's hard with all that snow. I'll zoom in on a birch tree that has purple bark. Look how beautiful that looks. You know why it's one of my favorite places. Amazing. Well, I'm going to let you go, and we're going to catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Have a good one. Holy cow, well, here we go, man. I finally got it on me. I'm going to carry it back to the farm now. You can see that darn thing. I just kind of prop it right on my back. Isn't that crazy? Holy cow. Yeah, it's pretty hard, but hey, it keeps me in shape. Right, so that's what I'm doing. I carry maybe 2 or 3 of these a day back to the farm for the rabbits and the piggies. I got 14 young baby piggies. They need extra hay now to sleep on. Yeah, so maybe we'll be taking 4 bales a day. I'm gonna owe this neighbor a little bit of money. I think I better just give him some bacon. I think that'll do it. You people love bacon, right? That could be the trick. I could just give him bacon for the hay. Maybe some hams. Alright guys, I'm going to carry this thing home for the rabbits. Take care. See you next time. We have some western hemlock just up here. I'm going to harvest to put in my herbal tea. You can see the dark green. That's the western hemlock. It's typical trait. It's feathery needle-like leaves, and it's dark green, and it likes to grow in the under canopy of most mixed forest trees. So yeah, and I just literally just picked the tips off. They're better in the spring. I do have some medicinal properties this time of year. So let's just go ahead and pick the tips along them. You don't need a lot to make a tea. So I get a couple tablespoons, I suppose. And then I'm going to mix it with a few other evergreen needles, probably some pine, maybe some western cedar. Yeah, I know where some white pine is. We could go cut some of that, put it in the little tea as well. Anyway, just wanted to show you the western hemlock, and now I'm going to venture off, go get my white pine. I'll show you what that looks like. Here you can see another western hemlock growing right beside a western cedar. And this one's top looks like it's been crowned or died off. But you can see where it grows. You can see all the taller trees. It grows under it. It doesn't mind. And you can see the very bottom branch even has foliage on it. So it's very tolerant to shade. It probably prefers it. I went only like older trees that are well developed. Probably handle full sun. A couple of these old birch trees are finally falling down, doing their job, adding mulch and nutrients back to the soil. Yeah, you can see it's decaying into the ground again, where it came from, giving itself back so life can continue to exist. I just love these old stumps here. You can see these aren't logged, as they been broken off, but they're so cool looking. A lot of the time western hemlocks will grow right in this hollow out stump. There's like a mother stump. They would quite often call that home. And my chihuahua, she's over there. She's probably wondering where I am, why I'm not going back to the farm yet. So yeah, here's a baby western hemlock. Yeah, they look very feathery like. And then here beside it, this is a spruce, which I'll probably actually take a few tips off of this. Because you can use these spruce tips. They're better in the spring also. But you can also use them this time of year. So it's safe to go ahead and harvest the tips of these spruce branches and add them to your herbal tea as well if you don't have vitamin C. So yeah, you can see I don't have a lot in there. A little bit of hemlock, you can see the difference. A little bit of hemlock and the spruce. You can see like most evergreens, they have very silver underbelly, or the under part of the leaf. But yeah, so that's spruce. Go ahead and harvest some of that if you have it in your area. But yeah, anyway guys, have a good one. I'm gonna go find some white pine. Cheers. That rooster, he's still letting everybody know it's morning. You ready, Frey? We'll go up to the pine trees. I just found another nice hemlock there. I thought I'd grab some more. Alright, we'll head up to where the pine trees are now. It's just up this road here. Alright, we'll see you there. Well, on my way I found some nice looking western red cedar. So I'm gonna collect a little bit of it to add to the tea. I just break the tips off again like I do on almost all the evergreens. Yeah, and you don't need a lot. About a tablespoon of each will make a nice cup of tea. So about 3 tablespoons of combo of western hemlock and western red cedar and western white pine, which is a small one right up here. We'll go. So right on the edge of this road. See if I can get up here. There we go. There's a western white pine. So that's what we're looking for. You can see I've harvested here before, and where I took that off probably a couple years ago or last year, it's starting a new shoot. A lot of the time you want to try to take them right where the node is, where that's gone down into 2. That way it branches, creates a bushier tree for you to harvest. You can see why they call it a white pine. underneath are, like a lot of evergreen needles, are white. They got like white lines on them. But yeah, I'm gonna collect some of this. Here you can see where I got that last year. Looks like again it grown another tip there. So yeah, these ones are a little harder to break off, but you can do it if you're, oops, well, without knocking the phone out of my hand. Sometimes you can use scissors. Let's see if it's this poor tree. There. That's probably enough. Don't need a whole lot. About a tablespoon. Sap. You could use that for a lot of things. Waterproofing things, medicinal tea. That's what happens when you cut branches off trees or they get wounded. You have this mechanism that releases this sap. Yeah, you can use it for quite a few things. It's on the spruce tree. Well, I could hear the water running from up top while I was looking at the moss and looking for the hemlock boughs to put in my tea. And you know it's springtime when you hear this. It's a beautiful sound. You've been waiting for spring to show up. Pretty amazing. Big old cottonwood growing right there, sucking up as much water as it can. Right, looks like there's a western cedar growing right beside it. You can see all the biomass. It's been slowly dispersed. But yeah, look at that. That is something. Well, there you have it. Back at the farm, I got the western red cedar, the western hemlock, western white pine, and I got some Sitka spruce. You can see they're all, the variety of them there. Off to the side, some in the cup. I just take my tempered water and I pour it in there. Don't spill too much. That's it. I let that steep for a few minutes. And then I add some honey to it. And yeah, that's my morning tea. Just a little bit more. That should be good. There we go. Well, there you have it, guys. The Okanagan's Evergreen elixir. Yeah, that will definitely see if we can zoom in on that. Not very well, but anyway, there's the tea. Hope you enjoy the video. Cheers. Well, I just added the honey, removed the needles. Now you can see it's fairly light colored, that's why it's called the elixir. Less a tea, more of elixir. A tea is more like a extraction or an infusion. But this is more like an elixir. Just a nice light drink with got a little floaty in there. I wonder what that is. It's just part of one of the needles. But yeah, there you have it. Yummy tea. Well, there you have it, guys. Finally got my morning tea in me, even though it's lunchtime. Go get yourself some evergreen needles and make yourself a yummy elixir. It'll definitely clear you up and make you feel better. Cheers. Have a good one, guys. Oh, that is good. All right, cheers, guys.